The biggest flop in the history of hobby Dutch auctions just took place. Plus, a new credit card for collectors, Prism Silvers are heating up for football players, and Cooper Flagg hype is now. We're going to talk about it all today on Cards on the Table. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cards on the Table. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teeth-Pod, here today with Doug and Ryan. Good to have you back, Ryan.
Good to be here.
And Doug, well,
you got to work on that intro.
Welcome back too.
Hello.
Yeah,
give it a shot. Give it a shot.
I tried it one time and then they told me never to do that again.
Did you get sued?
Good question. No, we've got some great topics today, and we're going to start it out with talking about a recent Dutch auction that took place and. Well, maybe didn't quite go according to plan. Somebody just bit it behind us.
Fell.
Oh man, sticky floors.
Do you think that was on purpose? Do you think they did that to be funny on camera?
I don't know. They're photobombing us.
One of our employees.
We're out of control. Somebody get Jeff back in this seat. Okay, so Panini just released their first debut of a product called Rookie Royalty. It's a WNBA product, and they released it on Dutch auctions. So Rookie Royalty, a very high-end 2-card box, maybe not unlike a Panini 1-in-1 and things along those lines. So what's in the box? 2 cards per box, 1 guaranteed autograph of either Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, and then 1 downtown or Kaboom insert featuring one of 12 possible rookies. This is the first time that Panini is applying like ultra high-end brand type thing to the WNBA. And so far, 2024 WNBA releases have included Prism Select and Origins. They had Donruss WNBA, although I think Immaculate just came out as well. So they ran this thing on Dutch auction. And for those who don't know, a Dutch auction, the way it works is they started out at a high price. And then every so many minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it comes down in price in increments. So it's like the reverse of a normal auction. And you can bid at any point and say, I want to buy this product right now at this price to make sure that I get some. So there's a gamble. Do you want to pay early and overpay while it keeps coming down until it runs out? Or do you want to wait and be patient and try to time it at the lowest possible floor? They started this product out at $30,000 per box. And the internet collectively laughed. That was just, we know Caitlin Clark stuff sells for big time money, but you're not guaranteed a Caitlin Clark. You're getting Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, or you're getting somebody else in one of those Kabooms or Downtowns. So they ran this on the Dutch auction, and it went down and down and down until it hit the floor. So there's a floor of $3,000, and then it wasn't even clear if it actually sold out or if they just ended the Dutch auction. So the appetite was not there, and it's an odd thing, I guess. Like it's really no skin off Panini's back to start it out super high and see if somebody just smashes the bin button. I don't know if there's a way to know if anybody did, but if they did, they paid $30,000 for it. So Jeff, as he was leaving us some feedback, was passionate about this topic. He said, I hate Dutch auctions in general. They completely screw people who paid for the product at higher levels. So what do you guys think of this? What do you think? Is this the biggest flop in the history of Dutch auctions? Do you like Dutch auctions? Do you agree with Jeff? Doug, I'll start with you.
It's probably the biggest flop, at least in recent memory. As far as I can recall, I've not seen anything start at that high of a price. I can't think of a Dutch auction that has started that high even.
Yeah,
no, the first for sure.
Yeah. It was gross to me how high they set that number. I'm serious. I think it's like just the grossest, obvious cash grab. And I get it. It's a business. You have to make money, and that's the whole goal here. But that's just. If someone would have paid that price, hopefully nobody paid 30 or even 20, but I bet some people paid 10.
Yeah.
But Panini has no problem taking that money and then watching the rest of the product sell out at a much lower price point. The second-hand market is a little bit better. We're seeing like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for second-hand right now. But, even that, for this kind of a product, it's going to be really difficult to make your money back on this. There's some really high-end Caitlin Clarks that are going to be 6-figure cards, and there might be a couple of other cards that can get you your money back. But outside of Caitlin Clark, if you don't hit a decent Clark, you're probably not even getting the $3,000 back, let alone what you're seeing on the second-hand market. As far as Dutch auctions are concerned, I tend to agree with Jeff. That's kind of a weird way to do things. Someone surely has paid $10,000, $8,000, $7,000 from Panini for these boxes and then watched them drop to $3,000 and left with just a terrible taste in their mouth. I think it was Zero Cool and maybe even Fanatics that have done blind Dutch auctions. And that's, if you want to go that route, that's probably the better way to do it. And the way that would work is even if you bid at $10,000 and it sold out at $3,000, everybody pays the floor price.
Right.
Everybody pays whatever the last bid was, the lowest bid was, right? So that's the more honorable way to do it, in my opinion.
I think there's a way you can do that too if they wanted to hybridize it. So maybe they don't do it that extreme, but like, you pay the difference. So if you put in at 10 and it was 7, you pay the split. I don't know. But yeah, I understand why people get frustrated. It just also, though, seems like it's the only thing that truly levels the playing field. On the top side, we see the EQL, but you don't get any. And then it hits the secondary market. So Ryan, Ben Burrows of Collect reported on X that $8,250 was the first confirmed sale of this product on the secondary market. And 2 more sales, at least, of $4,750 and $6,500 have happened.
Wow.
So there was some money to be made, apparently, if you bought at the floor. What do you think of this?
I mean, I was sitting in my office watching it. I started at 30,000. I had it on my monitor, and I'm like, if this gets down to 3, I might buy a few for the store. But you're sitting there at 30,000. You can either get a brand new Mustang, or like a Ford Mustang, or 2 cards. And then it got down to like 20 grand. I'm like, okay, well, you can get a brand new Toyota Camry, or 2 cards. Then it got down to like the 12, and I'm like, oh, Honda Civic or 2 cars.
Do you often think about?
I want to know where you're getting.
I
want to know where you're getting a new Camry for $20K. I don't think they're that cheap anymore, but.
But then it got down to the used Prius range, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Maybe I'll get a couple for the store.
Priuses or cards?
No more Priuses.
Got it.
We already had one. We got rid of that.
Okay.
But no, it's crazy. It's $3,000. But if you do look at the checklist has all the major hits from all the major products.
Yeah.
It's actually a super sick checklist. And I can't imagine what the green Caitlin Clark Kaboom was going to go for.
It's going to be big
and then
money.
Even like the logo men got hit yesterday out of Immaculate.
Yeah.
We still got Flawless, NT.
Yeah.
It is a loaded checklist with all the demand about Caitlin this year.
Yeah.
And pretty low print too. Like the Kabooms are probably less than 100 printed, and out. Instead of football and basketball, we're seeing thousands printed.
And you got to have a good chance to hit a gold Kaboom, where if you open Absolute, you're like 1 in whatever cases.
Well, this is reminiscent of Mercury in a different kind of way. We saw what happened with that with Topps and how they kind of loaded it, but you didn't really have any idea exactly like how many boxes were going to be made. And I think that's the big question mark around this is like, what's the total print run? How many boxes exist? What are my actual odds of hitting something significant out of this? We'll be tracking these prices closely. I like Dutch auctions. In fact, I said my reaction to Dutch auctions in general is I just think everything should be Dutch auction. If they're going to make it available for like an SRP to consumers on a website, if you put it on Dutch auction, unless you wait to the floor, you're not going to be fighting with bots typically. You have your chance, and it's just up to you what you want to pay. It's the ultimate like supply and demand, and it sort of helps, in theory, control what the secondary market does, although people are already overreacting to this, on eBay, or maybe not. I don't know.
It's just stuff that you guaranteed to have losers as a key mechanic of how a Dutch auction works.
True.
And I hate that.
Or winners. I mean, you agree to pay for it.
Yeah.
I see the same thing come up sometimes when people say if you like walk up to a dealer's booth or at a garage sale or an estate sale or an antique mall or something, and you find a really rare card, like in a value bin or marked as part of a binder for $10. What's your responsibility to like let them know?
Sure.
The same thing can happen if you like personally accidentally overpay for a card because you looked up the wrong comp or something like that. I mean, it's on you at the end of the day. You said, yes, I want to conduct this transaction. Live with it. I don't know of a better method. Maybe the hybrid, or what did you call it?
It's the blind. Yeah, blind Dutch.
Blind Dutch
Those are
auction.
cool.
Yeah.
The Zero Cool ones are cool.
All right. Well, let's try to promote that then for the future. Okay. So a lot of weeks we rip Arena Club slab packs on here. We're looking at something a little bit different this week. We want to highlight their auctions. So they actually have auctions on their website. You can rip slab packs, and then if it's something that you decide you want to run on an auction, you can seamlessly do that through the website. So we're looking at a few different items to highlight this week. I found this really cool Aaron Judge, and it's from Optic. So it is an unlicensed card, but it's a rookie card that you just don't really ever see these. It's the Carolina Blue, numbered 1 of 5, and that one is already up to $2,020 on their website. Doug, what are you looking at?
Not bad. I'm going a little off my normal course here. I'm looking at a LeBron James rookie, and I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, but it dawned on me as I'm looking through these auctions, and I'm seeing a 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron and a BGS Lab that I've never owned one before. And this one, as it stands, I understand how auctions work, but this is only a fraction of what it should be, even at this stage
Right
in
now.
this particular auction. So I want to keep an eye on it at least, and if I can, scoop this thing up for less than it should go for, I'm going to do it.
Nice. Ryan?
I love the Patrick Mahomes Cosmic,
Yeah, you
PSA
do.
10. I love the Cosmic design. I think it looks great. PSA 10 can't beat it. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in modern day. So.
Yes. Nice. Okay, awesome. Well, if you want to check out auctions, or especially if you want to go rip your own Arena Club slab packs, head over to arenaclub.com. And if you use code SCI20, you will get 20% off your first slab pack purchase. All right, for our mailbags, we're going to jump over. We've got 3 really good topics today. The first one, something a little bit different, and one I'm going to put us through with some massive disclaimers. We're going to have a little fun, a little old school buy, sell, hold. This is for conversation purposes. I do not own any of these cards in a silver. I don't know if you guys do, but this is fun to look at. Parker and I even speculated on a lot of these names when we did a challenge a few weeks ago on the Market Movers channel. Football's coming up. NBA's over. NHL is over. Baseball's nearing the All-Star game. And it's basically football showtime. This is when the cards start to take off. So looking at last year's quarterback crop, their Prism Silver PSA 10s, I want you guys to tell me amongst these, which of these, pick one you would buy, one you would sell, one you would hold, at least from this list. So Jaden Daniels, average price $1,249. Unsurprisingly, significantly higher than the next closest, which is your guy Caleb Williams at $667. Drake May at $558. Bo Nix, $455. J.J. McCarthy, $448, and Michael Penix Jr. at the bottom at $342. Ryan, I'll start with you. From this list, give me a buy, sell, and a hold, and tell me why.
I obviously got to buy Caleb.
Sure. I knew
Not
you
only
would.
for the PC, but they got a new offensive line. They got a new coach. They got
remind
new
me.
defense. They got new wide receivers. I think they're going to take over your Lions this year.
Oh, that's a bold pick, Cotton. Okay, I hope not. They've got all the weapons, so now it's no excuses. So you're a buy on Caleb. Anybody? Who would you sell from this list?
I would sell J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
He hasn't played a game yet. He seems a little small. He's on the Vikings. I mean, they got J.J., but J.J. probably wants out at this point.
Michigan player, so yeah.
Yeah, don't want that.
Anybody on the list you think like right now they're kind of appropriately valued you might hold on to between now and the season?
Honestly, between the lists, I would either hold Jaden or Penix.
Okay.
Penix because he's valued the least.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a shot this year. And it seems like the Falcons have bolstered up this year, too.
Yeah, London had a big year last year.
Yeah. And then Jaden, with the raw sale of the Black 101, I feel like there's going to be a lot of hype at the National, a lot of media around Jaden. And then he's already proven himself.
Yeah.
He's already went to the playoffs.
He has. Yeah, what about, go ahead. What about you, Doug?
Well, I actually have all of these except for Jaden in a silver at PSA right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to sell all of them. So that's my answer.
There you go. Sell.
Yeah,
buyer.
there we have it. As far as buying is concerned, I think there's a couple of decent answers for this. I think if you want to buy Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, I think those are all good. I think those guys are going to have kind of a long leash as far as if they start the season slow. I don't think they crash immediately.
Yeah.
And I do think all of those have room to go up as well. So I kind of like that area for those guys. I'm selling Jaden for almost the same reason you said you're buying. All the hype. Sell the hype, right? We saw C.J. Stroud have a similar trajectory his rookie year and then have this big sophomore slump, and really his prices took a hit. Not that I think that's going to happen with Jaden, but I think that's a bigger risk than there is reward. I don't know how much room there is for his cards to go up. There's already a lot of hype baked into his prices, and I would feel really happy getting that dollar amount for his silvers as far as what they're selling for right now, without taking the risk that he starts out slow and we start to see that decline. As far as who I'm holding, I would probably pick J.J. McCarthy just to hold. And the reason why is I feel like he has got the most sort of opportunity in either direction. I feel like since he hasn't played a game yet, there's a lot there for him to prove. Yeah. And if he comes out strong, if he does something early, we'll see like an unreasonable rise in his prices that aren't truly justified. But there'll be a big opportunity in the early season if he starts strong to move those cards.
I like to think about this in a few ways, like floor versus ceiling, just like projecting out. So knowing what my timeline might be for some of these things. you could think about this leading up to the National, you could think about it leading up to the regular season starting, or you could think about this like 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks into the season. There's different trajectories and arcs. If any one of these guys starts out like 4-0, their cards are going to keep going up to start the season. Outside of that, we do very often see dips, like early in the season, and it's usually later if they're on that like playoff trajectory like Daniels was last year that they can really go nuclear. I like to also look at this in comparison to other players. So like right now, Jaden Daniels is the 3rd most expensive Prism Silver PSA 10 of any Prism era rookie quarterback. He's right behind Burrow. He's actually about $400 behind Burrow, and then obviously significantly behind Mahomes. I worry with Daniels that he's like the C.J. Stroud of this year.
Even ahead of Josh Allen?
Even though he was there, those are just so rare. There's probably one that hasn't sold recently.
Yeah,
those
fair
are more
enough.
expensive.
Yeah.
Good call. The 2018s are actually more expensive. So I worry about the sophomore slump. I don't think it's going to happen with Daniels. He's got more weapons. They added Deebo Samuel. They've got other people and a really good coach. I think it's unlikely, but it worries me at that price point. So I'm kind of like hold or sell on him. Of all these guys, I looked at, like, I think Penix is the buy just because he does have weapons and he's the cheapest. He has the most upside to even to move up like $100 into that tier where McCarthy and Knicks are right now. I'd be a sell on Drake May right now. I still don't know what to think of him. He didn't exactly wow last year. He had a few solid games, nothing incredible, and they got Stephon Diggs, who's still like banged up. Who knows if he's even still a good wide receiver. It's like Hunter Henry's his best, target. And they've got a really tough start to the year. So you look at the early schedule, if that's your plan, and I like to look at the first 4 games and go, is there any chance they start out 4-0? Is there a chance they start out 0-4? Last year, the 0-4 is what killed like Trevor Lawrence's cards with the Jags. So that's the biggest
Which
gotcha
we
to watch
predicted
for.
on the show, by the way.
We sure did, and I got a lot of flack for that. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Do you like to speculate? And if so, which of these guys are you high on, low on, or which ones would you like to ride it out and see? All right, next topic. There was a big sale. The Cooper Flagg mania is here, and I really think we've only just begun to see the tip of the iceberg with this. We know the handover is coming with Fanatics to Topps in the fall with Topps Chrome Basketball, and Flagg's going to be a big part of that. But there was a record sale. His Superfractor sold for $97,600. This was his Bowman Chrome University Superfractor Auto in PSA 9 condition. It sold on Golden, which was a new public record for Cooper Flagg. There have been other big sales on here. That one in particular had a nice inscription that said, "From the 207," in homage to his roots in Maine. And there's other big stuff out there. There have been 18 Cooper Flaggs so far that have sold for at least $10K. 9 have topped $20,000. My question for you guys, is this warranted right now, already just based on kind of where Flagg was with his Duke playing days and now as the number 1 overall pick? Are you buying the hype on Flagg? What do you think is going to happen the rest of the year when these new products come out? Doug, start with you.
Well, I don't think it's super warranted, but I'm excited to see it, which might sound, two sides of the same coin here, but that's a lot for a Duke team that failed to win a title with the number 1 pick, the number 4 pick, the number 10 pick, and just for good measure, the 33rd and the 49th pick. So, he's had a super team around him and couldn't get them to the finish line. So I would be hesitant to put all my chips in on this guy, especially for a collegiate card, right? But at the same time, I am happy to see the growth of Bowman U. We have predicted that this could be a set that starts to establish itself in the same way Bowman has for prospects in baseball. So I am happy to see that, and I do think that's a positive measure of growth. But I also think that those prices don't hold up once he has, Prism cards, for instance, pro rookie cards come out. I think whoever has those might not be loving that price point in, a year from now.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan?
I mean, I attended the Dallas Card Show. I'm actually going this weekend.
Okay.
And Luka sells there. He sells like crazy. Maybe not anymore, but now Cooper Flagg's the next guy up.
Yeah.
I think his cards, even here at Cards HQ, we're getting asked, do you guys have Cooper Flagg cards yet? Obviously, we don't have any pro uniform yet, but the amount of sales that will happen just because of how big of a fan base the Mavericks have, I think it's justified. He's the first overall pick. We saw him at Fanatics Fest. He's tall. Obviously, he didn't show up in the March Madness, but it's all about the pros. We want the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is all about the pros. We want the pro cards too. I don't
Yeah.
think that card holds up at that price point long term.
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
be really interesting. I do wonder about the Bowman stuff long term in basketball and in football. We know it's really strong in baseball for obvious reasons, but there's still a lot of uncertainty about how these things, the Bowman First and the Bowman U stuff holds up in those two sports. Just looking at Flagg in general, trying to like project where he could go. He's got kind of one of those like rarely seen intermediate builds, like very, very, very athletic, very long. He's a phenomenal playmaker and ball handler for his size, and his defense is like top notch. So I look at him and I'm like, what's the worst case scenario for him? Kind of in the mold of like a Sean Marion, like somebody who like it was very good, had a very, very good career, won NBA championship. Upside, ultimate upside, just like his athleticism and everything. People would call it, probably sacrilegious, but like it's LeBron-esque, just the way he can make plays, score, get to the bucket, and I think he's a better defender than LeBron has ever been. So it's interesting. I don't know what to make of him. Number one picks, they've been very hyped. We've seen mixed, results in recent years with different top lottery picks. This sale, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think when the stuff comes out with the actual pro licenses, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I
The
made a video.
inscription with the homage to Maine is really cool.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
if that's your PC and you're up from there,
Yeah.
that's huge.
That's true. And that's kind of where I was rooting. I hope that's like where it landed, is somebody who's
That'd be
got like
cool,
a
yeah.
connection to him. Cool. We've got some like big stuff coming up here with the AllStar Weekend for MLB. Really exciting stuff. So MLB AllStar Weekend is 2 weekends from now, the weekend, I guess, of the 12th, 13th, 14th in Atlanta, here, right down the road, like 2 miles down the road. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a ton of people here. And Saturday, July 12th, we've got trade night here.
Yeah.
PSA is going to be on site accepting submissions and possibly some players stopping by, still TBD. And then Monday, July 14th, Topps is actually throwing their official like All-Star Game weekend party hosted here at Cards HQ. There will definitely be at least one player stopping by. The Topps truck will be here giving out free packs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ryan, is there anything else you want to say about that weekend?
It is confirmed. Andrew Jones is coming.
Woo!
5 to 5:45.
Sweet.
We'll be giving out free food, free packs all day long. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Man, I can't wait for that. I'm going to be here for sure and taking the day off or something. I don't know. It's a Monday. All right, well, that's really cool. So the last topic we've got to talk about here is like a mysterious one, kind of. There's something new that's at least being teased out on the internet called the collector's card, the first credit card built specifically for collectors. Supposed to launch later this year with a waitlist already open, founded by Vincent Sarafa, former JP Morgan and Bruin Capital executive and self-described lifelong collector. Claims to turn everyday spending into rewards tailored to the hobby. 2% cashback, discounts on grading, vaulting, and exclusive drops, bonus rewards, and lower APRs with vaulting when vaulting collectibles. Industry-specific perks with eBay and CGC. First 5,000 users will receive a physical card, serial numbered, 1 to 5,000. So I like the homage to the hobby there, and apparently a small equity stake in the company. More ambitious goal listed was to allow collectors to potentially collateralize their collection if vaulted to qualify for lowest interest rates. What could possibly go wrong there? Doug,
Hey,
I saw this. I kind of looked at it. I saw it again. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm a finance guy with my background. But now it sounds like we're hearing some things that just don't quite square up or add up based on what was on the website originally and some things you've been hearing. What do you know?
well, I'll say that this feels very gimmicky, to say the least, and potentially shady at the worst. While I'm not making any accusations, here's what I have heard on this subject. So when this website first launched and you were to go to this credit card's website, you would see this list of the who's who in the hobby, these huge companies as official partners. And I didn't think anything of it. I was impressed, right? And then I see Nat Turner tweet out that PSA's not involved with these guys at all. I don't know why our name's on there. And so it made me start wondering. And I privately reached out to some companies that I won't name and asked the same question, and they also had no idea who this company was. They were listed as official partners, and they assured me they are absolutely not official partners. I've spoken to somebody else who's looked into this, and almost all of the names listed on that website were not official partners. That's now been removed from the website, which is, obviously a nice first step there. Yeah. But to launch your company with this bit of dishonesty, as it seems, at least on my end, that makes me question all of this. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to give us grading discounts? Really?
Yeah.
You're going to give us, some vaulting discounts? You're going to give us this eBay partnership, whatever else? Can I believe that? Can I trust that now? And I certainly don't know if I would want to vault with them to use my cards as collateral for lower interest. What are you doing with my cards at that point? I've got a lot of questions about it, and they all stem from the fact that I feel like they were kind of maybe dishonest from the start. Again, I don't know that to be 100% for sure, but everybody I've talked to would lean in that direction.
I never hate the idea of things that are tailored to the hobby. We see, like Instagram isn't built for the hobby. But then they built like a mantle on mantle, and you start to see things where they're trying to like cater to the specifics of the hobby and give you rewards and things. Conceptually, I didn't hate the idea, but to your point, it's either dishonesty or like sloppiness. It's only those two things that I can think of. Neither are a great look if you're trying to get people's financial commitment to something. What's your reaction to this, Ryan?
At first, I thought it was super cool. Numbered credit card, equity. I was like, man, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to let the dust settle.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, get a Delta credit card, get a hotel credit card.
That's what I have.
Fly out to the National with points and experience the hobby that way.
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of other ways to put that to work, especially if you like to go to card shows. I don't know. I guess if Vincent is watching this video and you have more info, you want to weigh in the comments down below, please do. If anybody else has any other additional information, let us know. If this is legit, would you sign up for the collector's card and put it to good use? Make sure to let us know. And other than that, it's been great talking to you guys today. Keep tuned. We'll have this video next week as well. And until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.